We're kicking this week off in Port Louis Marina, and that can only mean one thing, right? We're going on a boat trip. We're super excited to do this because it's something that we have been wanting to do since we touched down in Grenada, and we think it's going to be a wicked afternoon.
If you're new to our channel, we're James, Sarah and Adi, and usually you'll find us travelling the world in our self-converted camper van Cassie, which we've lived in full time for nearly 3 years now. But this summer, we're doing something a bit different. We've said goodbye to Cassie, strapped on our backpacks and made the long journey to the tiny Caribbean island of Grenada. It's just 21 miles long and 12 miles wide, but it's where my mum is from, and hence where much of my heritage and consequently Adi's comes from. I've only visited here once 20 years ago, and Adi and Sarah have never been, so we're all super excited to get to know the place better. So for the next 6 weeks, this is where we'll be, and we'd love you to join us as we learn more about this side of our family's culture and history. Port Louis is Grenada's main marina, and it accommodates all kinds of watercraft, from tiny dinghies to giant super yachts and everything in between. We spent a little time admiring all of the shiny boats as we made our way to the one that we were going to be heading out in for the day, before setting off into the open water. We travelled just a short way north to one of the country's best known attractions.
Our first stop of the day is Grenada's famous underwater sculpture park, which I believe was the first one in the world. Is that right?
Really?
I think so, yeah.
I didn't know that.
I think there have been a few built since, but yeah, I think this was the very first one that was installed. And that trip here on Epiphany, which is the name of the boat, was awesome, right?
It was so good. Absolutely loved it. Even though I get travel sick a little bit, I didn't, because it was just like in the open air, so it was great. Adi's ready to explore.
Let's go.
One of the best things about the underwater sculpture park is that the pieces of artwork are installed at different depths, meaning that whilst you may be better off scuba diving to see the deeper pieces, there are quite a few that are closer to the surface, so you can easily see them with just a mask and snorkel. Because they're underwater, there aren't any signposts telling you where they are, so you can spend quite a while looking before you come across each piece. But it's well worth the time that it takes, and we've really enjoyed exploring for an hour or so.
We've just driven a little bit further around the island now to a small little bay called Flamingo Bay, and it's absolutely gorgeous here. There's hardly anyone here, just a couple of people just on the beach over there, and it's just such a lovely spot. The guys on the boat are getting some food on, so we're going to have a little bit to eat in a bit, and we've been tucking into the rum punch.
Known as one of the best snorkelling sites in Grenada, this secluded bay is home to a large coral reef packed full of colourful and exotic fish and marine life. Amongst other things, eels, turtles and stingrays are frequently sighted here. As the light began to fade, it was time to move on, and Ello, the owner of our boat Epiphany, steered us towards the setting sun as we ate the barbecue that they prepared for us. It was a truly magical experience, and one that we'd highly recommend if you get the chance to come here.
After our first tour of the island a couple of weeks ago, there were a few places that we wanted to come back and visit in a bit more depth for a longer time. So we've arranged another tour travelling to the north of the island, and we've come with the remaining family that are still on the island as well. And they also went to a place last week which is a Sulphur Springs, and they said it was absolutely amazing, and when they came back they were glowing. So we said we want some of that as well. So we've come to the Sulphur Springs as our first stop, and I can't wait to see what effect it has on my skin.
The mud here is absolutely packed full of minerals that are said to be both detoxifying and naturally healing for your skin.
How do you feel?
It feels good. It's interesting it drying on you just as you're stood here. But that's the next part of the process, is you just stand there and let it dry in the sun.
Yeah.
Is yours drying?
Yeah.
There's a set order that you do things here, so after the mud that's applied to your skin has dried, it's into a warm pool to remove it. That's followed by an even warmer pool, which is literally bubbling like a jacuzzi to soak some more. You're then rinsed off with refreshingly cool water from an underground well, before being moisturised with coconut oil to round things off.
smells absolutely amazing. The coconut oil has got nutmeg in it, and it actually just smells like chocolate. Like when we went to that chocolate factory the other week, this is exactly what it smells like. So nice. We have also bought some cocoa butter to take with us as well. This is like the real deal when it comes to this stuff, so super excited to have got that, and it's really quite reasonable in this place as well, like far cheaper than anywhere else that we've seen on the island. Well, that felt absolutely amazing. Good morning, we are just about to head off on an adventure to somewhere called Hog Island. It sounds like a really fun place to explore, but we've actually not really got that much of a clue how to get there, so yeah, that bit could be an adventure in itself.
The reason that we were unsure is because the best way to get to Hog Island is by water taxi. But other than a carnival, we hadn't even seen any, let alone taken one. Turns out it was actually pretty simple. We got a cab to a marina called Le Fair Blue, met a guy called Captain Fletcher who kindly pointed us in the direction of a Facebook group that had numbers for water taxis. And after a quick call, there was one waiting for us within half an hour. The journey took about 10 minutes and we were soon stepping off onto dry land again. Hog Island is one of Grenada's lesser known attractions, and to be honest, there's not a great deal here. But that's where its charm lies, because it's super secluded and really laid back. There are a couple of beach bars, there was a conch fisherman who showed us how he cleans and tenderises his catch, and about 1 million crabs. After a few hours chilling out, we got on our water taxi and headed back again. And we went past a private island with a hotel on, which we were told costs $100,000 per night, and counts people like Justin Bieber as former guests.
We have been spending so much time in the sea recently that we decided it's time that we hit up another waterfall and took a dip in some fresh water. The one that we're aiming for today is on completely the other side of the island, and to make it a real adventure, we're going to try and get there by public transport. There are two ways to get to the waterfalls that we're going to, two buses that you can get from St George's. One of them goes slightly less direct route, but it drops you right there. And the other one you actually have to go to Grenville, which is Grenada's second city. And that's the way that we've chosen to come, so that we can get some lunch, have a look around Grenville, and then we're going to head on to the waterfalls afterwards.
We really took a liking to Grenville. It's got this sort of ramshackle beauty to it, and it's got a really friendly vibe. We quickly found ourselves in one of its main hubs of activity, the Spice and Craft Market.
Even though we've now got to carry it around for the rest of the day, we just bought a load of stuff from there, loads of fruit and veggies and spices, because it just looked too good not to get. We found this place on Instagram that is included in a food tour that runs around these parts, and the food looks absolutely incredible. I'm so excited about this. I like how it's presented, it looks really pretty, like it looks like a really inviting dish. Okay, so we just asked the guy to come over and explain to us what each different element is. So obviously there's chicken, Jay's got the lammy, or lamby, keep saying it wrong. This is the pumpkin, this is mango, this is the roti just ripped up, and then here we've got potatoes and chickpea. Really good. Yeah. Really, really tasty.
Well, I'm going to say that that restaurant and that lunch was worth the journey up here by itself.
Absolutely, definitely. Like, as soon as I saw the pictures of it, the videos and stuff, I was like, we are going there, and I'm so glad that we were able to make it happen.
Yeah, delicious. Next up, we've got to get on another bus. We've got to find which one to get first, though.
We stopped for a bit of liquid refreshment just outside the station as our new mate Fitzroy prepared us some fresh coconuts to drink before jumping on another bus. Within about 20 minutes, we were making our way down through an old plantation to the waterfall.
So I don't know exactly how tall it is, but this is supposed to be the tallest waterfall in Grenada. This water is fresh. Read into that cold. cold. But it is absolutely boiling here today, so it's actually really refreshing to jump in here and cool off.
With a drop of over 20 metres, Royal Mount Carmel waterfalls, or Marquis Falls as they're also known, are a sight to behold. But just a short walk downstream is another much smaller waterfall that boasts a much larger pool that's way better for swimming in. You can also get right into the falls for an invigorating water massage. Absolute bliss.
While all the family were here, we were just taking taxis to most places because there were so many of us. When you divided it up between us, it actually wasn't very much, it was quite affordable. However, all the family's left now and there is just James, I and Adi left. So we are taking buses to most places now. We're going to try and get to a place that we are wanting to go to this afternoon to explore by bus. We're not entirely sure it's possible and we think it might be a quite long walk from where the bus is going to drop us off, but we're going to try anyway. Let's see how it goes.
Something we've discovered on this trip is that the bus network in Grenada is actually pretty extensive and it can generally get you to within a 15 to 20 minute walk of virtually anywhere that you want to visit. We found the best way to learn which bus to get is to just ask conductors at the bus station who will point you to the correct bus.
Well, this is really lovely. It's quite a small beach, as you can see, but it's really calm and really shallow and nice and warm in the water. And there's just loads of families down here just hanging out, having their weekend chill out, I guess. The only thing is we didn't bring anything with us. We've got some water, but we didn't bring any other drinks with us, and everyone's doing barbecue and cooking up really nice food and stuff, and it smells amazing, but it's making us really hungry.
Yeah, I'm starving.
So we're probably just going to have a bit more time on the beach in the water and then head off and try and find somewhere to get some food.
Pretty close to that beach that we've just been at is a place called Container Park. So we are hoping that it's open because that's where we're heading to try and grab some food. And basically I think it is pretty much as it sounds, a load of shipping containers that have been transformed into various different restaurants, and I think that it's kind of street food themed and probably world food themed as well. So we're going to head there now and see what that's all about.
This place started off as just a couple of shipping containers that have been converted into a coffee shop and a smoothie bar, and has just continued to grow from there. It now boasts a burger joint, a sushi and noodles place, a curry house, a Latin option and a smoked barbecue, as well as a couple of cool bars, and outside there are views of the gorgeous True Blue Bay. We all decided to eat from different places so we could try a variety of stuff.
So what did you get?
Fish tikka masala, and it is delicious.
Yeah? Mm-hmm. And I've ordered some Malaysian noodles, which we're still waiting on. I'm absolutely starving, so I'm hoping that Jay's going to give me a little bit of his before he gets here.
What a chance.
The food that Adi already had was a burrito bowl, so that had chicken and beans and rice in it. That was really tasty as well, but she ate most of that, so I didn't get a look in there either.
Well, this is really nice, but yours was so much better.
Yeah.
Like, it was really, really, really tasty with yours. So definitely get one of the curries if you're coming here.
We've just left Container Park and we're heading back to try and catch the bus back to St George's, but something that we didn't really factor in is that it's Sunday and there's barely any public transport, so we don't actually know if we will be able to get a bus right now because it is getting on for about 7:30, which I know it's not late, but over here on a Sunday everything is shut at that time. Well, that was way easier than we thought. A bus actually came about 30 seconds after we stopped at the bus stop, and because there was absolutely zero traffic, it took us about 10 minutes to get back, which was way quicker than it took to get there. So a pretty successful trip. something that has constantly amazed me about Grenada is just how diverse it is. And we have come just 20 minutes out of St George's on a short bus trip, and we are in the middle of a place called Grand Etang Nature Reserve, and it is a vast nature reserve that is at about 600 metres, and you can find monkeys here, of all things. Now, they're not actually endemic to Grenada, they were brought here from West Africa, but apparently you can very often see them in the trees running around here. There are also other things like armadillos and various other wildlife, and there is also a huge lake called Grand Etang Lake, which we're hoping to see as well.
We just watched a little video in the information centre, like a promotional video, and it said that there are lots of different walking trails within the nature reserve. There's some that are like 3 to 6 hours, but then there's also quite a few that are like 20 to 30 minutes. So we were like, okay, cool, that's great, we can do some of those. So we had a look around, couldn't find a map or anything, so we asked one of the people that worked there if they had a map, so we knew where the walking trails were. And she was just like, yeah, you're not going hiking in flip-flops. We were like, no, we don't want to go hiking, just like on the walking trails and stuff. She was like, well, we don't have a map, where do you want to go? We were like, on a walking trail. She basically just said, go up there and come straight back. So yeah, maybe we should have worn our trainers. Anyway, we've walked up to where she said, and it looks like there's a viewpoint that you should be able to look out on, but I'm not sure we're going to be going up there.
I keep hearing things in the woods.
Do you think it's monkeys?
I don't think it's monkeys because it's quite windy up here. I think it's just the bamboo blowing about. But I do keep looking because I really want to spot a monkey. Well, we didn't see any monkeys, but the views from the viewing point were actually pretty special, so it was well worth going up. We're just on our way down to the lake now, which is a couple of minutes across the road, and we're going to see what we can see there. Well, literally just as I said that we didn't see any monkeys, we saw 2 up in the tree there.
Grand Etang Lake is said to be the formation site of the whole island, as this is actually a crater of an extinct volcano which rose up from the ocean to create Grenada. Although officially it's actually just over 6 metres down at its deepest point, many people believe that the lake is bottomless, and some people say there's a mermaid that lives here who lures men to their deaths. Less than a mile down the road is Seven Sisters Waterfall, which is a bit of a hike to get to, but it is so picturesque that it is more than worth the effort.
My gosh, this waterfall is absolutely stunning, but it is freezing. I'm a little bit nervous to get in. Okay. Oh, that is beautiful.
Well, this is absolutely stunning. It is so beautiful, and actually when you're in the water it's not as cold obviously as when you first get in, as those things tend to be. And we're generally not a fan of freshwater swimming like this, but yeah, I think I could get on board with it here. Anyway, we are going to get out now and get changed really quickly because there's loads of bugs and mosquitoes around here, so we need to get dried and get our spray on really quick. So it turns out we didn't need to worry about the mosquitoes though.
Absolutely not.
We just got out and it started absolutely chucking it down like such heavy rain. So yeah, we're just trying to shelter. We've got one umbrella and I'm kind of like half under a little cliff with AD.
And in the rain is where we're going to leave you this week. We hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please hit that thumbs up button. And if you're new around here, then we'd love you to subscribe. And don't forget to hit that little bell button as well whilst you're there, so you get notified every time we post a new video. Catch you next time.